Welcome back to a brand new episode of NH Unscripted. I got my Nehru jacket on, my bell-bottom pants, my platform shoes. Your job is to kick back on the waterbed, light the incense, fire up the lava lamps. We are trucking today. That is trucking, yes, sir. We are coming to you from the spa-like conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord. Break out those transistor radios, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Give you a little more info on what's happening out there towards the end of the episode. Oh, I need to thank my sponsor. We are so grateful here at the studio that the law offices of Shaheen and Gordon have sponsored this show. By the time this episode's over, I might need them. Just saying. I mean, because everybody should know a good lawyer. Yeah. I'm trying to get them in to talk about nursing home abuse. Might be something near and dear to my heart. Dog bites, workplace injuries. It's all out there. They do it all. And they are all throughout this state. Concord, Dover, Manchester, Nashua, Peterborough, Keene, and even in Hawaii. They're in Hawaii. Can you believe that? We so appreciate them sponsoring this show. We really do. Some of their stories that they get in here, their attorneys, are just unbelievable. I mean, literally unbelievable. So I have someone coming back in the end of this month. ShaheenGordon.com is their URL. ShaheenGordon.com. Write it down. Put it with your important papers. 603-614-5560. Put that on your refrigerator because everybody should know a good lawyer. Yeah. Ask me why. Okay. Okay. I'm not even sure how to do this. Angèlica Rosenthal and Mackenzie Goodwin are in the house to chat about a production coming up this weekend. And where's it going to take place?
At the Derry Opera House.
Derry Opera House. Thank you. American Idiot. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Why American Idiot?
Oh, why not? That's the question I ask. So American Idiot came out in 2004 on Broadway. Mm-hmm. It was around my middle school years, to age myself a little bit, and Green Day had been very big.
I think I was just graduating from my master's degree.
Oh. I was kidding. 4.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
And the musical itself, it's very non-traditional. It's a almost fully sung rock opera. I think if there's a scene, it's no more than a page of very fast dialogue. And it takes place in a post-9/11 era, unspecified. And really, it's more focused on the fear and cynicism and media saturation that took place after 9/11 and never ended. So, for example, the overture to American Idiot is normally a series of videos that start with 9/11 and then kind of the world moves. And so I created this kind of hodgepodge of different videos starting with 9/11 and these things that I stuck out to me in my childhood politically all the way up to now. And I just pulled a clip in regards to the bombing of Iran. So it will be edited all the way up to opening night.
Holy Toledo. So first of all, there's video. This is a multimedia production? So you have a video wall? How do you...
No, I'm projecting a giant video.
You are? Behind them or right through them?
Right on. So I stripped the whole set and all we have is this ugly black wall that has holes in it. And the Opera House was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "I want every curtain down, every leg down. I want nothing in the back." And we were just going to slam it on raw onto the wall.
Wow. So obviously you've tried it. Is everything showing up? That's my concern. Is everything showing up well against that wall?
The Opera House has 2 projectors, one that's in the back of the house, and then they put in one at an angle in the grid. Yeah. So it's very close. And
So you've gone so far as to contemporize it? I mean that event just happened.
It's a kind of a timeless thing, but again, it's like when I grew up, they made 9/11 such a giant thing that was so hard for my 4th grade brain to wrap around. And what I remember is it never got better.
Yeah.
It never got better. I look back on the George Bush era and I miss it, which is not how I felt in the time.
I can't believe you even said that.
I mean it.
I don't believe those words came from your
The
mouth.
happiest moment I have is in that video overture, which is this man throwing shoes at George Bush because it's hilarious.
Oh, my God.
It's my favorite thing. And I'm trying to rack my brain of what I remember. And then it's like, because there's so many different generations in this cast, I'm like, what am I forgetting? I sent it to, I was a political science major. I sent it to my old professors and I said, what am I missing? They're like, oh, Elon with a chainsaw. And I was like, you're so right. What was I thinking?
Oh, my God.
Add that in. So much has happened. It's like, I don't even remember it. It's like I have, the Dean scream from Howard Dean. And then I have all this tariff stuff. And it never got better.
So this, I know. I was working, not that anyone gives a rip what I was doing, but I was working at Fidelity at the time, and our team lead came like running into the room and said, you got to go see the TV. You got to stop what you're doing right now. Come in here and watch the TV.
They rolled TVs into our classroom and we watched it. I don't even know why they did that.
That would be terrible.
Bizarre. It's just odd. I mean, I look back at that time and
no wonder you're doing American Idiot.
Listen.
You're traumatized.
I look back at that time and go like, what were we doing? And then we know they lied to us and they've admitted that they lied to us.
Yeah.
And I'm watching what is happening right now. And it is the same story. It's the same story. When Tulsi Gabbard comes out and says, Iran does not have the capability for nuclear weapons.
After she visited, by the way.
1,000%. And that is, Trump's head of whatever she's the head of.
She's the DNI or something.
Yeah, she knows. She's supposed to know. Mm-hmm. And then he's turning around saying she doesn't know. Mm-hmm. They're definitely. I said, why isn't Dick Cheney just telling me this again?
Oh my God.
I can't do another war in the Middle East. I don't have time.
No kidding.
What do I have to do another musical about it 10 years later? I don't have time.
This is the most political this show in 2.5 years. This is the most
I'm just
political.
getting started.
No, I'm glad to hear it. I don't do a whole lot of politics, but I was there for. I get it all.
Well, and what I would
say,
say,
and the fact they keep lying to us just makes me.
I'm just get a grip.
No kidding.
This isn't the 2000s. When iPhones just came out. People have the world in their hand. People have communication overseas. People are live streaming videos and TikTok, I think, has been the biggest thing, and that's why I think they were trying to crack down on it, is that these videos are flooding in and this information is flooding in. Give me a break. Lie to me about it.
Yeah.
No one's here for it. I pray for the day that they try to start a draft, because this generation will tear this down.
I can't, but have they been talking about that?
No.
Okay.
No, but
God.
I don't put anything past this
no
country
kidding.
anymore. And what I would also say is
we're going dark. We're going dark.
This is nothing. You should hear me in rehearsal.
I don't want to.
But what I would also say is this isn't partisan to me. If Kamala Harris had won, I would be going after her in this show. I don't support a two-party system. I don't support how this country was. If this was a free country, a two-party system wouldn't exist. It's political theater that I'm sick of.
Yeah.
So I'm putting my own political theater up.
You are not alone. So the songs from 2004, the album was actually, 2000.
The musical came out in 2004.
Okay. So the songs you feel are relevant to today.
Yeah.
They're still relevant to today.
For sure.
Your video plays through the whole show? Or
no,
it just has certain...
it's like a 4-minute overture, and then it goes right into American Idiot.
Okay.
The opening number.
All right. I'm having to take some notes from that. The story. Okay, I believe it or not, and I can't believe it, I did some research.
Okay.
I'm like, what? So it's based on the album, right? Mm-hmm. With all 13 songs, according to my research, are in the play, in the production.
Yeah, it's
plus a few more.
Yeah, a few from other albums.
Yeah. That album, that's crazy. Now, I don't know anything about Green Day. Believe it or not, I know nothing about them.
Sure. I believe you.
That it's just one of many things I know nothing about. Mackenzie, jump in anytime you feel like it here. I know that was a hot button that she set the table for that. But
these are my views. I don't put them on anybody else.
We need a disclaimer in the beginning.
I was enjoying it. I was here for it.
American Idiot, the album, received critical acclaim and was commercially successful upon its release, and has since been hailed, I can't believe this statement, as one of the greatest albums of all time. Mm-hmm. That's saying a lot. Come on, the Beatles, the Stones, Green Day's right up there.
But the Beatles, it was a different time. So yeah, the Beatles had Vietnam to go through, but what could get through media-wise and what was appropriate was just so different.
Yeah.
And so Green Day was this angry, angsty part of what everyone was feeling at the time.
Dude, this thing, the kudos of it just go on and on. Are we through the first segment? Well, we politicized the heck out of that block, didn't we? Anybody that's left, you are listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah, Mama told me not to come. Ooh, baby, I am your 3-Dog Night-like host, Ray Dudley. We're coming to you from the dating game-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. And for you folks in Manchester, 101.9 FM on your Sony Walkman. Angèlica Rosenthal Mackenzie Goodwin are in the... Well, you wouldn't know Mackenzie's here, but we'll get to her in a minute. Hang on.
To idiot America. Welcome to our new kind of tension all across the alien nation, where everything isn't meant to be okay. Television dreams of tomorrow. We're not the ones meant to follow. For that's enough to argue. Hey!
Dude, that rocks.
Yeah.
How have I never heard that? Honest to God. That is all right.
See you at opening night.
So tell me, live band or is it all tracks?
I'd prefer to use tracks, but we didn't feel that it would be the vibe without a live band.
Yeah?
Yep. So we have a live band on stage.
Kudos, no kidding.
We thought it would take some life away without a live band.
Oh, yeah, thank you. That is, I'm so glad to hear you say that. I love a live band. Tracks make me crazy. I know they got to use them.
I like them because I have more control, and in the show, having to direct,
you have more control,
and being I'm also the musical director of the show.
Okay,
it would have taken pressure off me, but John Carey and Angelo are both helping run the pit as
John Carey.
John Carey, trust him with my life. Not the political person.
Well,
John, to my knowledge, has never run for office.
I just assumed,
It'd be wild if he showed up.
Following that first block, so you never know where we're headed after that. The album itself, my notes say it was certified 6 times platinum. Mm-hmm. That's insane. I mean, 6 times platinum. That's just wild. It's just wild. I have the plot breakdown, but since Mackenzie's here... Mackenzie, what is this? Give us a little bit of what the play's about, the production.
Okay, yeah. So it follows three gentlemen in a fictional town called Jingletown. It's Jingletown. It's God. The plot is unclear.
Just pull that closer to you. Okay. That's okay.
The plot is unclear at best, but it follows.
It's nonlinear because it's 3 stories all being told at the same time in different places.
They overlap a little bit.
Yep. They're being told on stage at the same time in different places at different times. So Mackenzie's in her own story.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So 3 different stories happening at the same time. We have Tunny who goes off to war.
Okay.
He fights in Afghanistan.
We have Johnny who kind of falls into addiction and goes crazy on drugs.
Okay.
And then Will doesn't end up leaving town with his friends. His girlfriend gets pregnant. I play his girlfriend.
Okay.
And he stays home and I don't want to say helps her raise the baby, but
certainly doesn't do that. He drowns in misery and makes everyone's life worse.
Thank God you said he drowns in me. I thought you were going to say something about the baby. That's good.
I'm doing great.
Okay.
I'd say your character comes the most out on top.
Yeah, for sure.
The parallels here to the 70s are incredible. Going off to war, drug addiction, depression.
I told you, history repeats itself.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the flashbacks I get just from hearing that plot are just insane. I had so many friends who went off to war and never came home. The draft. Talk about the draft. It was there. I luckily was able to. I think I had a deference. I forget what it was back then. But anyway, I was so fortunate. But man, I mean, Apocalypse Now, the movie, it's just insane. All that stuff is just wild. So you have a live band. So do you want to mention any of the people who are playing? Because that is incredible. Are they sound a lot like that?
We have our sits probe tonight. So I've met them all individually, but we haven't smashed them all together yet.
Oh.
And there are other elements, especially Mackenzie's character, because we have live babies in the show.
Huh.
Last show it was dogs, and now it's babies.
Puppets, dogs, babies.
I said it at Legally Blonde. I said, this photo shoot with the dogs next with the babies, and I think everybody thought I was joking, and I've never told a joke in my life.
Talk a little. You showed me earlier some of the press photos. Black and white, they're absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. I mean, who took them? Who?
Jen Ryder, our choreographer,
Yeah?
is probably the most incredible photographer I've ever met. Every
Understatement.
time we get promo pictures and headshots done
They're
by
beautiful.
Jen,
They're
I
absolutely.
adore them.
Yeah. The black and whites. I hope she doesn't put any of them up there in color because the black and whites are gorgeous.
I get messages from people in the community that go, "How is everyone in your cast hot?" Like every
I
single
get that
person.
a lot myself.
That was like the messages I got from Cabaret and every show that Jen just does such an amazing job with the photos.
Dang, I need to get her to do. Does she do headshots? I need some.
Oh, yeah.
hands.
Oh yeah.
I haven't done in black and white that came across so good. I need tats too. I got to get all tatted.
Can be
up.
arranged.
I need a sleeve.
Can be arranged.
So how big is the cast?
21.
21.
21 people.
Yeah, that's pretty good size.
That's how many guns are in the song too.
Wait, what?
21 Guns.
Yeah.
Famous song by Green Day.
I didn't know
It's in
that
the show.
either. Oh, I didn't know that. I told you. See, it's worth getting out of the bed sometimes. I have heard a rumor, based on somebody near us, he's worn out from dancing. There's
Worth it, though. Worth it.
he says he hasn't had to go to the gym for like a couple of weeks.
Probably a couple of months.
So, who's doing the choreography?
Jen Ryder.
Oh, that's right. You just said that.
In
You
addition
just said
to
that.
the great photography, is also an incredible, intense, award-winning choreographer.
Correct.
Does it move in and out of the audience, or is it all on the stage?
everywhere.
It is. It is. So it's very inclusive with the people in the audience.
I want them to feel the hate that's in my veins.
Dude,
And I want it right in their face.
Dude, you're killing me.
And Jen and I have worked together for a very long
You're
time.
killing me.
And, we had just done Legally Blonde together, which Jen was super passionate about. Was not my favorite show, but I'm here to put on a show. And we enjoyed the contrast of going from pink to black in tone and color. And I am always so impressed by Jen's work because the choreography from Legally Blonde to the choreography in this is so vastly different,
I
and yet
believe that.
still such high caliber.
Yeah. What do you hope the audience actually gets out of this when they leave? Because it's a statement, I mean, obviously.
I hope they get as angry as I am and do something about it.
Yeah, well, good luck there. We tend to be apathetic.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, I hear you. So what you hope that that it motivates them to do something. In what way do you think it's just going to? So it can't just be angry all the time, right?
I disagree.
Really? The whole play is people are going to.
No, the play is not angry. I can be angry all the time. Anger makes change. Protests work. Mobs work. Uprisings work if we do them. I look back at Vietnam and all those protests, and I look at Vietnam and I think about like Kent State and then what is going on.
Don't
and like,
get me started with Kent
Don't get me
State.
started.
Oh my God.
It is so disgustingly parallel. And I keep seeing these parallels of like, oh, it's like World War II. He's a Nazi. Sure, great. But how about what is actually going on? We have, masked police people grabbing people. They're just passing a law now that they can't be masked and have to wear badges. That's absurd. How are people not rising up and rioting? Because riots work. That's what we know. That's what we know from where gay pride came from. That's what we know from why the Vietnam War stopped. I'm not sitting down and doing nothing. I think everyone should be angry.
So how does that? The opinions you hear are not necessarily those
They're my opinions.
of the station. How will this? How does that come through? So I mean, it's just songs, kind of, but how does that how does the audience get that? It can't be just a matter of, I heard a song that makes me angry.
No, I think the through lines of the story of, deciding there's nothing else to do and wanting to serve your country and going to fight in Afghanistan, and then having your leg amputated and your whole life ruined because you did that. Going to try and find your independence, becoming a drug addict, and realizing that you're destroying your whole self because this country and the world gave you no other option. Finding that you're stuck in a relationship with a man who does not want to be in it, and you are legally stuck there because you have a child with him now, and you have to claw your way out. That's the reality. I sit and look at, especially Mackenzie's character, and think, it's so important to have real children in this because this is what children grow up with, and it's not pretty, and it's horrid. And I have gotten a lot of criticism for putting a child in this show. And, that's between me and the parents. But they're in support of it because they believe the message is strong. Some kids live that life. And, I mean, Mackenzie can describe you the set of her house in the show. It's deplorable. And that is what kids live in.
Do it, Mackenzie.
Yeah. So the setup of the house is there's a couch and there's a TV and a GameCube and a little table.
Hang on, I hear the music. I want to get the full picture here. As dark as it is, and it does seem dark. I'm getting that impression. You are listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah. I was going to use I'm Living Right Next Door to an Angel by Neil Sedaka. Man, it's not feeling like so much, but I am your Neil Sedaka-like host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from, obviously, the Gong Show-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your Stony Walkman in Concord. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. These are the days why I like to get out of bed. We'll be right back. Having fun. Interesting. Mackenzie, I cut you off on the last block. Finish your story for us, if you would.
Yeah, so Will and Heather's apartment is in complete disarray. There's beer cans everywhere, liquor bottles, an endless supply of drug paraphernalia. And as my character gets more and more pregnant and then the baby comes and is around the apartment, it gets worse. Can I talk about all the drug use?
He's guessing.
Yeah, correct terminology.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Will is freebasing crack in front of the baby. He's ripping the bong. He has a friend over, and they're doing lines of coke off the couch. So it's hard to even be in it and be like, this is obviously absurd to me, but there are people who grew up like this.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of why, spoiler alert, Heather leaves.
Yeah. How are you, as you're young, how are you able to pull in all of this environment? I assume you didn't grow up in that kind of an environment. So how are you able to relate and make a character out of it that's believable?
Yeah, I just think, exposure to media.
Yeah.
Acting, I guess.
So we did do a lot of heavy conversations about drug use and what that looks like, how to do it, and how it affects people, because to me, too many times is it sensationalized and then not taken seriously. We had talked about Requiem for a Dream, which I think is a beautifully artistic way of expressing heroin use, but highly sensationalized to the point that it's unbelievable. You don't need to have your arm amputated if your vein turns black.
Oh, my God.
That's a bit ridiculous. And so we had talked about that it was important that we accurately showed it.
Yeah.
It's scary enough. We don't need to sensationalize it.
My gosh. The show just in your face? As an audience member, you're going to be like, I can't believe we just saw that. No?
Maybe a little bit.
There's a lot
I
happening.
mean, drug
There's
use?
a lot going on.
Yeah?
And we don't shy away from it at all.
That's,
Which I think is important. Right?
I'm getting that impression.
Couldn't be me.
So how does she find the strength to do this, to get out? Where does that come from for her?
I think it's just a breaking point.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think she wants to believe that he'll be a good father and step it up, and he just doesn't. And it all comes to a head when he has a friend over, and they're just like, she realizes what a state the house is in, and she's trying to clean, and they're goofing off with each other, and she calls her friend, and she just says, "I'm done," and she
That
gets out
break
of there.
for a lot of women is hard to come by.
Absolutely.
Hard. So, hope. Let's talk a little bit about hope. There has to be some hope in the show. She obviously shows some hope.
Yeah.
There is a way out for her. I mean, obviously, the one who goes off to war and dies,
He doesn't die.
He does not.
His leg gets amputated.
Oh, good grief.
But he gets a little morphine dance. He has a fun time.
Wait. What was that term?
A little morphine dance.
You're killing me.
Got to give him his moment.
Oh, my God.
It does kind of wrap up in as neat of a bow as it can. We see Johnny kind of pull his life together out of the gutter of heroin and go back home. That's kind of the song we were listening to on the way back in. We see Tunney has, fallen in love in the army. And, yeah, his leg was amputated, but he's kind of got a new life now. And we see Will finally also hit a breaking point. That his life is so miserable now that Heather's gone and the baby's gone.
Oh, he comes to that realization?
He does. And just kind of is like, I got to get out of the house. Because what's interesting about Will's character is at the end of the second number in the show, when they all leave, he sits on the couch. He does not leave that couch till the end of the show. And that actor stays on through intermission. He is staying right there as if his life has stopped. Because in his mind it has. And he finally hits a breaking point that he's like, I just have to get out of the house. And then he runs into his friends who are all coming back home, and it is a homecoming of sorts.
What an interesting visual.
Yeah.
He just sits there.
He is so dead inside on the couch for the whole show. And including when it's, an Afghanistan scene, he's still there. Wow. And including when it's, I'm doing a heroin ballet with my girlfriend, he is still there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And something that gets me about that, too, is you don't even see him get up off the couch until Heather leaves.
Yeah?
Until she tries to leave for the first time. It's the first time you see
gets
him
up.
stand up.
Wow. Is it written that way? Or is that something that you decided?
It's not written
Is that
that
a directorial?
extreme.
Yeah.
But in working with the actor, he was willing to take it to that extreme.
Really?
Yep, I was like, I'm kind of toying with the idea of keeping you on through intermission, and he was like, let's do it.
So, okay.
All right.
So let's talk about, I wish he was here, because where does he go mentally, you think? Your actor. What's happening there? Because obviously he's trying to stay in character, and what do you think is literally going through his mind? I'm hoping it's not like, I think I have to go to the bathroom,
I
hope they
told
turn
him
the
he
lights
could
on
have a
soon.
bottle on stage if he needs it.
Yes.
He said he's good, but I was like, if you need a bottle on stage, I'll put one on for you.
Does he go someplace dark? I mean, obviously it's a dark moment. This is a dark moment.
I can't super
In a
speak
dark
to it.
show.
You're probably with him more than I am, but
Does he ever talk about it? I mean, these are the
no.
things that I love.
he doesn't. Garrett Myers playing Will. He's super professional.
Oh,
super
yeah,
professional.
There you go. That's the answer right there.
And it's just really finding the stride. I think the bigger thing that he's struggling with is the way the set is. We have the stage and we have two platforms coming off of it. One is the motel room where Johnny is, played by Jesse Drake. The other is the house of Will and Heather. So he can't really see much that's going on. So it's been a lot of just trying to balance. I'm like, all right, well, everybody else is like crying their eyes out.
Yeah.
We got to get you a little. And I was like, oh, I just can't see what everybody else is doing. So He's genuinely very isolated in his own world.
Okay.
And there's many business to do, but I do find that most of the time it's just him sitting there dissociating and not knowing what to do. And that is...
Stillness for an actor is so tough.
I don't even see him move. Sometimes I just look and I'm like, oh, he's lying down now, and I don't know when he got there.
Yeah?
Truly.
He has some great moments, too, when he's doing drugs, where I'm on stage with him, and I can just, like, see
Nothing
it
behind the
happen
eyes.
in the eyes. It's crazy.
Dead behind the eyes.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Why don't we?
I
love
that's what I felt. So, yeah, that's what I wanted.
That just shows
And we
levels
see
of an actor.
see it drain out of him through the show, because the first number, it's him with his friends. The second number, it's like we're planning to leave. And we can see it start to drain the second that Mackenzie's character tells him, I'm pregnant, and, like, you have to stay. And he says he's going to stay, and then he plops onto that couch, and it drains, and it gets so disgustingly drained by the end of the show. Brings me to tears. Truly. And the only moments of joy get ripped away from him, because the moments of joy are him playing with his friends, him doing drugs. And he just doesn't want to grow up, and he doesn't want to take accountability, and he doesn't want to help.
heartbreaking.
It really is. It really is.
Oh, my God. Are the other scenarios like that as well? Are they just as heartbreaking? I mean, losing your leg is not a party, but, you know.
Yeah,
Not one I've ever been to.
No, not in your hands, I'll guarantee.
I can't even watch from off stage as Connor
Nugent having a breakdown about losing his leg in the war is I have to hold back tears.
It has made me cry. It will make me
Where
cry
does he
again.
pull that from? These are the things I
I
love
couldn't
to-
tell you. And then in 21 Guns, it's where we see Garrett in despair. We see Connor having a full breakdown with the nurse after his leg's been amputated. And we see Jesse Drake's character, Johnny, really struggling between full destruction. Do I, give in to the angst and anger and hate? And he has got a knife to Rose Chafee, and Rose trying to calm him down, and him trying to come off of this heroin spiral he's in, and he's full sobbing into Rose the whole number, because he's not singing that number at all. Wow. And it becomes this very hard hit of the show kind of blisters and has to ooze there.
Man, my brother spent some time in Afghanistan. He was not good when he came back.
I can only imagine.
He was not good. There's stories there, but I won't get into it right now. Man, I'm so happy you guys came in. You are listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah, obviously, don't fall in love with a dreamer. I'm your Kenny Rogers-like host, Ray Dudley. Got ya. We are coming to you from the honeymooners like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester on your Sony Walkmans. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Yeah, we're getting darn close to running out of time. Holy all right, we'll be right back.
St. Jimmy's coming down across the alleyway. Up on the boulevard like a zip gun on parade. Light of a silhouette, he's a subordinate. Coming at you on the count of 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. My name is Jimmy and you better not wear out. Suicide commando that your mama talked about. King of our 40 thieves, I mean to
In case you're wondering, you are still listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah, baby, we are coming to you from the Taj Mahal-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. My God, it's cavernous in here. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios in Concord. 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls of Manchester. NH Talk Radio is our URL. You can go out there any time of the day. There's a button where you can listen live if you click it. Yeah, otherwise, there are archives of this show plus all of the other great programs that take place here at the studio. So you get up early in the morning and you need a friend, you're eating your milk and cookies. Yeah, you can go out there and get some of the great programming that's here. And there is some wonderful, wonderful programming that takes place here. in the meantime, we're still talking about American Idiot taking place at the Derry Opera House this weekend. Angèlica Rosenthal Mackenzie Goodwin in the house chatting it up, and I mean chatting it up. This, you mentioned St. James?
St. Jimmy.
St. Jimmy, okay. Talk a little bit about that. What's that character's issue?
Oh, he's not real.
Okay. Okay.
So St. Jimmy is played by Andrew Holland, fantastically talented actor. He is Johnny's alter ego.
Okay.
That he does not know is not real, and it's almost like a Fight Club vibe, where it's St. Jimmy is the drug dealer, the partier. He's the one who is pushing Johnny. He's the one who hands Johnny the knife, pushing him to destruction. And by the end of it, Jesse commits, I guess how I would describe it is like a mental suicide to end that era of his life.
Oh.
And it is highly shown.
That's an interesting turn of phrase there. Mental suicide. That's very interesting. As
I
opposed
think in the song it's described as a self-righteous suicide.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ah.
And the way that Jen choreographed it is beautiful because we see St. Jimmy kind of deteriorating and getting more unhinged and more crazy, and it's Jesse and Andrew together, I think, are such a dynamic duo. They just, I truly just have so much fun with each other
It's
on
magical,
stage.
yeah.
Truly. They have the time of their life.
I have some questions, but before we go there, I have been remiss in asking URLs and website information so people can buy tickets and dates and all that. Go ahead and fire away with that.
I know that for sure.
Oh, that's good.
I definitely know that. So American Idiot opens June 27th through June 29th. KCTNH.org, maybe.
Are you asking me?
Tom used to do this job. KCTNH.org, I'm correct.
Okay.
Because we are affiliated with Kids Coop Theater. We're the adult side. I will say I'm working with the children on their show right now, and they've asked a lot of questions about what the show is
Is
about.
it the American Idiot version for juniors or something?
American Idiot Junior Idiot. No, it is not. But
I'm very glad to hear that.
it's a healthy interest. I have had the children ask me about American Idiot and A Clockwork Orange, and I have had to very carefully explain both of those in a child-friendly way.
In what world are children asking you about American Idiot and Clockwork Orange?
Imagine if I went on Sesame Street to talk to Elmo about what A Clockwork Orange is about, because that's very much how it went.
I'd buy tickets for that just by itself.
I
No
sent a voice
kidding.
memo of it, of what I said, and they were like, "Oh, it's giving bedtime story." But yeah, I mean, I'm here to be real with the kids. They're teens. They're older teens. It's not
Okay.
like I'm talking to 8-year-olds about it.
Okay,
But
okay.
in fairness, I don't think, hiding it. The kids showed up to Cruel Intentions, and I told them if they came to that, I would not say hello to them. I would not acknowledge them. I can't control what they do. Some of them were 18. Some of them were not.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a choice they can make. But out of, mutual respect of the power dynamic we have, that's not up for discussion. But I'm not on stage for this one, so I have a little more wiggle room here.
Would you issue some type of a warning for people before they go?
I haven't done a show that hasn't had a warning on it in years.
This is my shocked face again. Just a disclaimer, just in case people, because I've had people mix up shows before.
Yeah,
and,
Rock of Ages. The first 2 rows walked out. I think they thought it was a religious show.
I'm telling you. I had some friends that came to see Cabaret. They thought they were seeing.
My Cabaret?
No. They thought they were seeing. They thought they were seeing Chorus Line. And about halfway through the first act, they're like, "I
the
thought
same
we were here to
thing.
see
Drastically
Chorus Line."
incorrect.
And it was Cabaret.
No, I mean, we post disclaimers on tickets and on the website and all of our information, and then we post them physically in the space. I live for people walking out of my shows, but only in the respect that I can say, we are not refunding you. You knew what you were walking into.
Yeah.
I don't ever want anyone to be surprised, especially with this show and the next show I have coming up. It touches on a lot of really sensitive topics that I want people to be ready with what to expect. And I do think even so, it's hard to know what to expect. But
As the director, when you were casting this, what were you looking for? You
Nothing. I had an empty brain. I'm not joking. No, I'm not joking. This show became such a who clicks where. I mean, there were obviously some things of like the three lead men and St. Jimmy are pretty high vocally. There was some vocal constraints, but who clicks together because it shouldn't be a clean click. Everybody, when I look at that cast, it is such a mix of people, of how they look, how they are, heights, ages, because it should be. That's America. It should be. I like to think of it as like a bag of misfits all together. Everybody in that show could fit, and maybe a couple together in a different show. They all slammed into this one, and that's the beauty to me. And the funny thing is, too, is this show has the most of my former children in it that I've worked with so far.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it was Mackenzie was one of my former kids. We actually met because I did American Idiot at Actors Singers, and I stayed. Mackenzie, Andrew Holland, Lucas and Megan, Danielle, all my former kids came back to do American Idiot because they were too young to do it when I was in it.
So you held auditions, but you weren't looking for anything in particular. You were just an open slate saying, I just want to see.
I let the world ride me in auditions.
Yeah.
Truly.
That's interesting.
Well, I have ideas, but like they can change in the heartbeat. The second that someone shows me something else and then I have a different idea, why would I cling to the first one I had?
Well, because there are directors who do that, right? They have
How boring.
No kidding. No kidding.
How boring. I don't care. I mean, you know, Mackenzie was blonde for Legally Blonde, and then she wanted to keep it, and then I was like, yeah, let's do it. She can be blonde. We can certainly design around that. And then Jesse was like, oh, I feel like my hair should be a little more extreme. Can I go bleach blonde? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I really let a lot of the actors build their own base costumes that they're in, most of it, because it highly reflected each one of their individual personalities. And that I love.
Ooh, that's interesting as well.
I don't think I policed much of anything. I mean, in all those promo photos, it was like people would show me things, and I don't think I said no to anybody.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, that looks great. If that's what you want. Yeah.
That's a really interesting take, though. I mean, to let them, as their character. So we're going to see a lot of leather jackets and stuff out there? Or?
It's pretty hot.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot on stage.
Dancing in leather?
I like to let actors explore, and it's so funny too because Garrett was like, I don't really have like a graphic tee that fits the vibe, and I was like, what if you don't have one? What if you're just gray? And then I pulled a couple of mine, and I don't remember which one he picked, but I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then, but Jesse on the other hand was like, let's go to Hot Topic. I want to pick out like he pulled a System of the Down shirt, and that's what he wanted. Great, and. Yeah, it's just like they're morphing as we go, and then the actors will be like, well, you know, I don't know if I have to do a quick change into this, like, sexy American flag bikini. Can I lose some accessories? And I was like, whatever you got to do. If some accessories are here, some are not. We were tattooing the actors.
What?
We got a bunch of fake piercings, whatever it felt. I just pretty much for the photo shoot came in, set up a table of options, and let people go.
Dang, girl. That's crazy.
That's collaboration.
Yeah.
That's what I live for.
Hello, future directors. Collaboration, huh? Look it up. My God.
I also have a fun fact if you're interested.
Of course, always.
Sure. In 2019, there was a study about the song American Idiot, and it was the most dangerous song to drive to.
Why?
It just amps people up, I guess.
I get it.
You do?
I get it.
Wait, are we done? No. I had so much. Oh, my God. I'm so intrigued. All right. Well, you've been listening to NH Unscripted. We're uptight. Everything's all right. I'm a Stevie Wonder-like host, Ray Dudley. Yeah, I look a lot like him. Yeah, we are coming to you from the YMCA-like conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord. Yeah, this show comes to you live-ish every Wednesday and Friday morning at 9 a.m. Angèlica Rosenthal Mackenzie Goodwin in the house for American Idiot that goes up this weekend. Come on, folks. I just spent a great weekend out at some theater. Get out. It's summertime in New England. Go see a show. I'm telling you, I'm begging you to do it. All right. Catch you on the next one.